Okay, so it's been a bit since our last update. I'm just going to read the changelog here and kind of go through what and why has changed on 4/27/2025. A couple of changes, kind of a big update, seems small, but it should have rippling impacts. So probably the most important thing that changed was introducing the pouch and pack inventory system. So what this is you have 4 slots for your pouch and 10 slots for your pack. That is what you can carry in the game. Items in your pouch are strapped to your body, and you don't really lose them if you like fall in a river or something and your pack floats away. You should pretty much always have access to them unless you get captured or something, right? This will include like if you're wearing a sword or a shield strapped to your back, these would be pouch items. So these are things that you can access quickly. Everything else goes into the pack, which is 10 slots. And really small items like coins or sewing kit or like a scribe kit, that could be a kit. And so some items will be joined up into kits, which go in the pack, and they'll take even longer to get. So in combat, when we're tracking time, taking something out of the pouch or putting it in takes 1 action. Taking something out of the pack or putting it in takes 2 actions. Taking something in or out of a kit takes 4 actions. So this won't come up often except for drawing weapons and putting them away, but it should add a level of immersion to your inventory, what you're carrying and where you're carrying it, give you a reason to think about like what are my essential 4 items. So I think that'll have a good impact on play, but I gotta find some players, right? So the next thing that we added was the concept of range limits for ranged weapons. So this goes hand in hand with a later entry here, which has added a new reference table to help clarify enhanced combat action. So I just want you to envision different ranged weapons, which could be like a throwing knife and a crossbow, right? I didn't like that these functioned exactly the same and had the exact same damage. So in this new version, what we're looking at is maybe a crossbow has limited range. It can only go up to a D8, and you can't fire beyond that. And to balance that out, it'll have the word sunder. So maybe you take a full round with a crossbow, and you spend the word sunder, which is attached to the crossbow now, and you'll do twice as much damage to armor and half as much damage to flesh. So having that 1d8 cap on the range, but the word will mix up items a little bit. And again, don't use the reference charts for your game, but it's another lever for you to pull, is this range limit that I think will be more interesting. Initiative is no longer required if both sides are aware. It was just kind of awkward to like roll initiative after you've already taken an action in like a sneak attack. It didn't really make sense. So from here on, if you're the aggressor, you go first. In line with that, another change on here is that when you join combat, it used to be you would act on the next turn. So reinforcements would come and circle around the outside of the grid, and then they would join, and then they would have a full turn just waiting there, and then go. And what this meant was that they were really, really vulnerable to the defenders, which was fine because I was mostly testing with enemies on the board first. But then I did some testing and players died a lot. They died a lot. So now you act the turn that you get in. It should not be worse. It should be a lot better. What else do we have here? Dual wielding now rolls both damage dice on any doubles that hit. So previously, dual wielding, you would only roll 1 damage die unless you got both criticals, which is usually double 6s. So if you got double 6s, then you would roll both damage dice. Now, any double numbers that hit will be double damage. So if you roll a 2 and a 2, you'll do double damage to the main hand. And that should make dual wielding a lot more enticing for people. So let's see. Economics is a setting detail. I kept trying to think of ways to make gold make sense. And what I realized is I'm not your storyteller. I don't know your setting. I don't know your world. Maybe gold was wiped out in the flood. So I'm going to leave that to each individual storyteller to figure out how they want to pay their players. Let's see. We clarified grab attacks requiring an attack roll to determine what is grabbed. The language was just unclear, but when you go to grab somebody, you don't just grab whatever you want. You roll an attack roll like normal, 1d6, and whatever you get is what you grab, which may be what you want, may not be. Let's see. Clarified specific fate uses. So this is when you kill an enemy Fate Weaver, and you basically collect their soul. It was kind of unclear, but you can use that to prevent your own death. Just cleared up the language. So clarified that inherent words cannot be combined with each other, but can be used with drawn words. The language, again, was just a little confusing. So if you have inherent words, which are words from magic items or level ups, basically things that aren't expended on use, they can't be combined with each other, but they can be combined with drawn words. The language was they can't be combined, which was confusing. So we clarified that not all Fate Weaving is overt magic, so not everyone's out there throwing fireballs. There are Fate Weavers that just jump a little higher, swing a little harder, play music a little better. And they are weaving fates. It is a magical effect in some sense, but they're not like throwing fireballs. We removed a lot of bloated sections, yes. There's still a lot to go, honestly. Added a new reference table to help clarify enhanced combat actions. I feel like this is one part that has not been tested much, and I don't know if players know they can do it or get it at all. So you can use words that are related to combat to enhance combat actions. So if you have a shield with block on it, when you go to block, you can use that word as an additional action to roll 2d6 and then take the higher one for your block attack. It's not entirely intuitive, but it's something you can do, and I want to get more people doing it, so we made a chart. Formatted for PDF and printing. This took, it's just a PDF, right? But it took me forever to figure out how to get the markdown to convert nicely and cleanly with good margins and formatting to a PDF using Pandoc. I'm just not very smart. So let me go back through here and make sure we didn't miss anything. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I'm not seeing it. There will be more updates to come. I know that at least I want to clarify that armor is for every slot. I don't think that currently is how the language reads. So yeah, pouch and pack, range limits, initiative changes, dual wielding changes. It's a lot of changes that I'd like to test, I'd like to play, but currently we have 0 players. I have no testers, not a single tester in sight. So if you would like to test Words of Power, give me a shout, let me know, and we'll set up a game.